Hello YouTube and welcome back to Raging Nightmare, where today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to revisit something that I did about 6 months ago, but I'm going to be talking about again today, ladies and gentlemen, and it is concerning what many people consider to be the most entitled streamer on Twitch. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this again is because, well, I still have to point out exactly because, and I'm going to have to be talking about myself a little bit during this, but I wouldn't be doing this for any other reason if I didn't want to show you exactly what not to do. I think it was like the video I did on my main channel was something on the lines of how not to be grateful and stuff like that, or how to not show appreciation, or it was something like that. I might link it in the description as well. But with that being said, we'll go to, I believe it's by, it was by the esports team again. So we're just going to watch this again and question mark the most entitled streamer on Twitch. So if you guys want to check out the original video, you know what to do. So let's begin.
You might not have heard of BadBunny. She's a relatively small Twitch streamer who mostly streams political content these days. But you've probably heard of an enormous controversy she started with just one Twitch clip, even if you don't watch her. People are calling her the most entitled streamer on Twitch, but it's more complicated than that. Alright, so.
They had to use that entire intro just because he had to take all that time to get his jacket off.
Who is BadBunny, and why is everyone talking about her? Like I said off the top, she is a political streamer who spends a lot of her time trying to educate her viewers on left-wing politics. And that sounded pretty nuts to me, but it turns out, after I looked into it, that she is part of a growing genre of political just chatting streamers. And honestly, it makes a ton of sense that it's popular.
Yeah, well, because especially as well, to be honest, in any date, it wouldn't be the same as it was last year, but definitely not like next year. But also, you have no idea how divisive the subject of politics really is in the world. Especially, I mean, let me just give you a little bit of a rundown of exactly some of the things that are happening in the world right now. In the UK, there's an increasing number of anti-Boris Johnson of movements, from Premiership footballers to anybody in the... You know, there are more people than not that are... I would say, you know what? In reality, there would be more people who are anti-Boris Johnson, yet I reckon they'd still vote for him anyway. There's talks about... there's conflicts in Eastern Asia between Pakistan, China, and India. There's something that's saying that about 5 Chinese soldiers were killed, and there's now trouble in the Far East. There's also news about remarks against Donald Trump are rising, especially with the Black Lives Matter is almost revolutionizing the whole landscape of race culture, and what exactly they will not deem as acceptable anymore, which... These are just some of the things that have happened, and it's not even the end of June yet. It's going to be one of the most... It's going to go down in history as one of the most bizarre and probably one of the most divisive years in history, if not already, because there is so much to talk about and so much to unravel. So I suppose in this sort of climate of, you know, where people who have to extensively do their research onto politics, it would make sense there'll be people who would stand out as people who were, you know, talking about this, and because everyone has the right and title to an opinion, they will immediately get onto Twitch chat and just say whatever they want. So you get quite a busy Twitter chat feed. So that's really good for streamers, is to have the chat feed constantly moving every single second.
People love controversy, so why not just debate on stream? But shockingly, this whole controversy didn't start because of her politics. It wasn't about left versus right. It was all about this random Twitch clip.
Chat, I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. What the fuck? For an hour? What the fuck?
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna like save my commentary at this point until pretty much the end of the video, but just keep an eye out for one, what she said, and just how spiteful she sounded. Also, if you can't technically read anything in the Twitch chat, just pay attention if there's anything said about Bad Bunny. Like, what the fuck? Why would you be begging for donations? And it'll make sense in a few moments.
An hour when I fucking working for free? What the fuck?
To give some context, this clip came immediately after Bad Bunny was talking to her audience about the benefits that subscribers get if they sub to her, and also talking about how she believes that people should give money to people like her, who make left-wing progressive content as their full-time job. And the thing about Bad Bunny, and something she mentions at other points during her stream, is that her audience is bigger than just the people who are watching her at that moment. Her clips are pretty popular and make it onto Reddit and places like r/livestream fails. So her audience is larger than what it might immediately seem like. And look, I get it, when you're a full-time streamer, it sucks seeing your viewership go up and not necessarily having any money to show for it. But at the same time, that is sort of how Twitch, and honestly every single online platform where we consume content on these days, works. It's the same on TikTok, Twitter, even YouTube. One of the most appealing things about social media platforms like this, where people create and share content, is that you don't have to pay for it. It's why it's better than TV and Netflix. Hell, I probably bet that's the reason some of you are watching this right now. Anyway, the reality is that that's how it works for like 99% of content creators on the internet. You make content and then nobody really pays you, which is why people immediately started criticizing Bad Bunny's comments, including one of the biggest names on Twitch.
I've been live for almost 10 minutes now. And there's just not enough people subbing to the channel. Figure out a way for every single person who's watching a stream, force them to pay. Yeah, I don't do this shit for free. Hey, listen, Champions Club, it's been 5 minutes since you've subscribed. Either you subscribe or you stop watching me for free.
First off, I do think it's really easy for Doc, who basically has a guaranteed income from streaming, to laugh at what Bad Bunny said. Dude doesn't really have to hustle for subs anymore. But honestly, it's really hard to tell how Doc actually feels about this whole thing. Maybe he's legitimately criticizing her, maybe he just thought the clips were funny and he needed to make a reaction to them, maybe he doesn't have an opinion on the whole thing. Who knows? But the fact matter is, he amplified her comments to hundreds of thousands of people. The Twitch clip made the rounds, of course, and it's her most watched clip of the last year by far. It's led to people calling her entitled and pointing to times she said stuff like this in the past.
$5 a month! How do you have hours of time to watch?
I don't want to be, Captain Hindsight about this, but you know what? Screaming at the microphone, looking with murderous spite at your audience is not the way to go about this. Because you see this here, left is best. People won't really think so if this is the people representing them. People who are going to scream into the microphone like a child. Which, to be honest, is not too far off from the world of politics instead. Just take that in, ladies and gentlemen. Like, how boring would it be if I started to scream for you to give me your money just because I was doing stuff for free? Just think about that for a second and
watch me, and not $5. No, I won't troll no more. I will sub next week. Next week? Why? Because you're too poor to afford $4.99 today? How do I call in? You don't, you fucking non-subbing fucking poor. You don't. So please consider supporting the channel. Also, I like money. I really, really like it. So if you want me to be happy.
Just one point I have to make about that. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm still pausing this, but, guys, I don't like money. But by default, I need it so I can stay alive. So whether I like money or not is kind of irrelevant.
And you hear that I like money.
And look, I'm not here to tell you who's right or who's wrong in this particular argument, because honestly, I think I kind of understand both sides. On one hand, the way that Twitch works is that giving money to your favorite streamers is purely optional. And that wall of viewers she talks about in the clip, well, there are some streamers who would kill for that kind of audience. So it's pretty easy to call her entitled. Look, a lot of people who are watching her, even in that moment or in general, maybe just don't have the money to sub to her. Maybe it's all tied up in other streamers that they give money to. Maybe they only give money to one streamer and it's not her. Maybe they just don't spend money on Twitch. Maybe they don't even have money to spend money on Twitch. The fact of the matter is, expecting people to give you money on Twitch just isn't how the platform works, which is why people found her comments so ridiculous.
Look at this. I'm teaching you how to play the game, teaching you how to play controller right now, dude. And you guys aren't even giving me your money right now, bro. I'm literally heartbroken.
But on the other hand, I get it. It sucks making content for free in the hopes that one day you'll get paid for it. Yes, that's the way that Twitch works, but that doesn't make it okay. Like, imagine if you did your job every single day for free and just hoped that one day someone would generously give you enough money to eat. That's no way to make a living. But here's the thing, at this point, making real money off streaming is a pipe dream. It's not gonna work out for like 99.9% of people who try it, which is what people said about BadBunny. If she knows the system sucks, why is she trying to make money off of it? And once I started kind of taking all that in, it got me thinking, why is it that we see streaming as less deserving of guaranteed income? Because here's the thing, at the very top of the food chain, the biggest streamers on Twitch are actually making enough to make a living. People are signing deals with Mixer and YouTube and guaranteeing their income. And like I said earlier, BadBunny's presence extends beyond just her Twitch audience. Her clips get shared on Reddit and Twitter, and so she's a lot bigger than what her audience may seem. So that's probably why she feels like she deserves at least a little bit more money than she's making right now.
This behavior is everywhere on Twitch, and it doesn't make it right. Using this personally single out BadBunny makes no sense. So every streamer has done shit like this. It's probably kind of sexist. I know it's sexist because nobody else gets called out like this. No man gets called out for this.
We live in an era where you can get pretty famous on the internet really quickly, and that doesn't actually necessarily lead to making money. Streaming is seen as different from every other career, but the fact of the matter is there is a base of people from which the average streamer could be making more money. In February 2018, Twitch stated that they have 2.2 million broadcasters with 15 million unique daily users. But it's hard to imagine that even a fraction of those people sub to anyone on Twitch. Look, I have to pay attention to Twitch as part of my job, and it's not like I have the spare change, even right now, to sub to like 15 different people on Twitch. And I know a lot of you people watching right now probably don't sub to a lot of people either. And honestly, who can blame anyone? It's not like Netflix. No one needs to pay a monthly fee to watch their favorite streamer. Like I already said, a lot of people might not even have the disposable income to sub to anyone. Hell, even the word donate implies that we don't need to give our money to these people. At the end of the day, the system is designed in such a way that we don't view it as necessary to give Twitch streamers money. From the words that Twitch has carefully chosen to talk about money, to the user base, to the way we view media in general these days. Which is a long way of saying that's why everyone thought BadBunny's...
You know, yes, that is true, but I just gotta say right now is that a few days ago, I donated like about what £3, which is about like about $3.95 or something like that to a streamer, giving him basically some criticism, basically telling him if he wants to get better, maybe it'll be a good idea to branch out and do a whole bunch of other crazy and insane stuff. And he said he had no opinion. He had absolutely no opinion about what I said, and then he requested that I donated again to explain myself. And I didn't know if I could have made myself any clearer. I just came up with a bunch of suggestions, and you know what? If he wants to get to the top of the food chain, you're gonna have to put in the work. That's what I was trying to say. And you know what? I reckon even if I was to send $5 to BadBunny, would she be grateful for it? I don't know, and that's another problem. I'll get to that in a second.
Call out made her sound entitled. And honestly, it's really hard to call anybody on either side of this argument wrong. The fact of the matter is, the system is stacked against streamers making money. But I know as well as you do that when you watch a popular streamer, you just kind of assume they make a living. There's like very vivid memories of like many terrible games that I played. I did not play any good games.
Anyway, okay, we don't need to like hear the rest of that. So yeah, that's kind of like revisiting the things, and I wanted to say, for what they are worth, I wanted to give some of my opinions about what I thought about, well, BadBunny and whether or not actually, you know what, now that I've had like a better chance to look at this again, there are a few things I want to say right now. And you know what, I've been making videos almost for free. Well, I say almost. I do have a Patreon for my main channel, and whatever money I get from that, I always make sure I pump out as much as I could possibly do. Never skipping on quality, it's increasing quantity. It's without stepping down on quality. I've always made that a rule, and I've always made sure to thank all of my patrons for doing this. And besides, at the end of June, I'm shutting down my... In fact, I'm not really so much shutting down my Patreon. I'm changing a lot of the things on there that might get some people to maybe reconsider, because there's certain like different directions I wanted to go for after I've had when I'm on my hiatus, my 1 year break from the internet. So there's points to why I'm doing that. I won't necessarily reveal them at the moment. I'm going to reveal them in about a month or so from now, from when RageCon technically begins. But for what they are worth, and I might change this a little bit later, for what they are worth, I want to actually give some of my opinions about the life of being on YouTube. Now, when one comes to think of it, it seems strange that literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people, Twitch streamers, YouTubers, that they are doing absolutely fine by continuing to make videos, continue to talk about interests, doing all these things for the presence of whoever the hell may be watching, and for the rest of the world to think they're actually comfortable and doing pretty well. Sometimes people are in it just for the money, but then again, you know what? Without the money, we wouldn't be able to survive. It's as simple as that. And like what I was saying earlier, is that I don't particularly like money myself, but I need it as a rule of thumb in order to, you know, pay for things like gas, electric, bills, food, new clothes, toiletries, etc., etc. There's reasons why we need money that are pretty obvious, to say the least. The problem when it comes to BadBunny, and maybe this is something she didn't think through when she says this, is that when she's making all this content and she's doing all of these things, it isn't that she's doing it because, well, obviously, she wants to make money because, you know what, she's, you know, providing, I would say, a service in many ways. She's contributing back to society by giving out content in terms of, you know, talking about, you know, political commentary or political satire or whatever it is. So I can see why she would want to, you know, get some kind of reward for it. I feel as if, like, again, for the most part, almost like, I would say like nearly a tenth of all the videos I do on YouTube are almost without profit. Because I think it's something that you have to make over £60 on YouTube to like hit a threshold, so you start seeing any money going into your account at all. Because I think it's something like YouTube will not will give you any money at all until they think you're like a safe investment to the very minimum standard. And I've never come close once to even reaching that threshold. But you know what? Do I complain? Do I ever, you know, hold a knife to my throat saying, you know what, watch the videos that are monetized, donate to my Patreon now, or I'm literally going to kill myself? Would you ever see anybody doing that? No, of course not, because, one, you're trying to make your audience look guilty for, you know, your own shortcomings and your own failures. And I'm not saying BadBunny is a failure, it's just that maybe she just really needs the money. Maybe, you know, she thought this was going to be a cakewalk, or maybe just like doing this for so long, with the pressure was like building up, and she just wanted more than anything to have some inclination that things were going to be okay and that she was going to get anything. Now, of course, like they were saying, maybe the correlation between her and the money she was the correlation of her viewership and subscribers and donations was not quite as equal. But you know what? That's, again, par for the course. Being on YouTube, being on Twitch, unless you're sponsored by, you know, a team like, let's say, the LA Gladiators, Team Liquid, Cloud9, etc., etc., unless you're actually sponsored by that, in which, you know, streaming or playing games or whatever it is becomes your job, then other than that, it's purely optional as to whether or not you want to stream or not. Or make YouTube videos or do anything like that, or make stuff on Instagram, whatever it is. The point I'm trying to say is that working on social media is essentially a self-employed job. You're not employed on contract by a company or something like that. You're making videos yourself. You're working for yourself. That's it. That's essentially what it is. I have relatives who are self-employed. I have my uncle who's in his mid-60s who works as a self-employed mechanic. But that means he gets to work whatever hours he wants. It means he gets to work on whatever things he wants. He gets that freedom. But the problem is that unless people go to him to help repair their cars, motorbikes, whatever it may be, then that's pretty much the only real source of revenue he gets. So, but then again, I'd imagine self-employed mechanics, their income is actually quite a lot steadier because a lot of people have cars and a lot of people will look to mechanics to have them repaired. I'd say it's a more reliable source of income. Not because you don't have to be particularly popular at it. You just have to build a good reputation and offer a very reasonable price and something that matches with most manufacturer comparisons and stuff like that. There are reasons for that. Now, in the case of social media, and I can point this out for myself, you only get out as much as you're going to put in. And now that in fact, I've got a better idea. I'm just going to check something out. Canal. I've seen that clip already. You know what I think would work for Bad Bunny? Whether or not she actually I don't know. She actually had a YouTube account in which she could upload stuff like that. I'm actually gonna check whether or not she has Instagram or something like that or Twitter, because you know what, branching out, and we just saw this with Pokimane. That sort of thing is actually not a bad idea at all. But let me just check something. Let's see. No, I don't think she's on Instagram, but let me just check Twitter again. Let me just check Twitter once, and then we could. Because I'm actually, you know what, I'm gonna actually do the right thing here and actually try and help her. 270. No, it's about no. Right. Okay. So the point. So basically, what I'm trying to say, and as I'm gonna be as kind as I possibly can to Bad Bunny, is that if she was on Twitter, if she was on Instagram, it's branching out. It's going to a different platform and telling exactly what she considers about politics or issues about the world right now. And you know what? Who's to say that couldn't kick off? Who's to say she could be starting a whole new movement, and then politicians all over the world, or there could be. You have no idea what exactly that could open. You have no idea what on earth could come of you right then, because maybe if she did all that, maybe she wouldn't. Or YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, even Tumblr, for whatever reason. If you really wanted to push the envelope, do it. Go out there, post some stuff on there. You know what? You'll find out there's a lot more people that agree with you than you think. I'm just worried that this is such an easy problem to solve, and it's strange that Bad Bunny isn't not considering this anyway. In fact, you know what? I've got an idea. I'm actually gonna look for her on Twitch right now. Bad Bunny live yesterday. Oh god, I definitely changed her her icon picture because it looks like she's soaking or crying because she's sorry about that. 127.8k followers. That's not bad at all. But I reckon, you know what? If she really did want more than just that, again, go out on Twitter, go out on Instagram, post some stuff, talk about politics there. You know what? It's not like Twitter isn't completely saturated to the very end with nothing but, you know, politics and just stuff like that. You know what? Maybe provide a voice. Maybe make a difference. You know what? I reckon, you know what? If Bad Bunny was as committed to it as that, then she would be voicing opinions more clearly. Maybe she could be the head of the revolution. Think about it like that. Somebody who was basically begging for what she was giving back to the world. But maybe, I don't know, like, I don't understand why Bad Bunny, if she really was so concerned about, you know, the lack of money she was going to, lack of income, why did she not just start a union with YouTubers, Twitch streamers who feels if like their income should be a lot steadier? But like I said again, YouTube and doing things on social media is essentially a self-employed job, and unfortunately, most people who are self-employed are seldom or never have an effective trade union. Because I don't know whether or not it's just going to be every person for themselves. But you know what? Again, if Bad Bunny straight up didn't want it to be like that, maybe forming a union would be the better thing to do, because it's to prove that we are all in this together. And there's got to be... It hasn't just got to be Bad Bunny. I'm pretty sure there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who do stuff all over social media who feel as if like they're not getting a fair enough pay, or feel as if like they're not getting paid enough for their talents or anything like that. You know what? Maybe in a year from now, I might be saying the exact same thing when I make my grand return to the internet. But I just want to make this point clear right now. I understand a little bit clearly about Bad Bunny's frustrations, but you know what? Do something about it then. Change who you are, or just don't try anything different, or just let things be the same. And you know what? Because the problem when, like, people start paying attention to you because of the drama you've caused, who's to say that, you know what, you won't do anything, like, you do like one thing this day, you'll do something even worse the next day, and then people just looked at, because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't really heard much, there isn't many controversies about, you know, some of her political standpoints, so maybe it really is just down to the money. Maybe a lot of people actually agree with her. Maybe that's why she's got so many followers. But like I said, I think there are ways around this. I certainly think there are ways around this. Some things I would have done in her place. I'll tell you what, I may actually look for when she's next going live. Maybe I'll send a donation to her. Maybe I'll just give some honest-to-God advice and see what she thinks of it. I'll see whether or not she thinks it's a good idea or not. I'm not going to, sit back and wipe her ass or anything like that, because no. I'm just going to tell her straight up from how I see it, and maybe the rest of the world sees it. And who knows, again, it's also worth noting that the last video the last time she streamed was like about a 7-hour stream, 448 or so views, which is not great. But then again, you know what? She did that. If she, again, going through the motives and she becomes more popular and people see her for what she's done, people might just look past that. I was willing to look past that, because I wouldn't, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be trying to offer her advice. I wouldn't be trying to make things better, because you know what? I don't know. I just feel as if like I've been in this situation before. I'm still pretty much in this situation. But you know what I'm going to do about it, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to change my ways. Because on this day, I see clearly that everything has come to life. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed looking back on Bad Bunny once again. Please make sure to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the esports reaction to the most entitled streamer on Twitch, ? Please also make sure to also like and subscribe so you get daily notifications of when my videos come out. And I hope to see you guys again in the next reaction video. Take care, Bye-bye for now.